Jenny had received an invitation to attend a weekend retreat at an isolated cabin in the middle of the woods. She didn't know the person who had sent her the invitation, but the promise of a relaxing getaway was too tempting to resist. As she drove down the winding road, she felt a sense of unease. The trees loomed overhead, casting a dark shadow over the road, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Jenny arrived at the cabin just before nightfall. The cabin was small and rustic, with a cozy fireplace and a few comfortable chairs. She noticed that there was no electricity, and that the only source of light was the flickering flames of the fire. She tried to convince herself that it was charming and rustic, but the unease lingered. That night, as she sat around the fire with the other people, Jenny tried to relax and enjoy the company. But there was something off about the group. They were all strangers to each other, and they seemed to be hiding something. Jenny couldn't quite put her finger on it, but she knew that she wasn't the only one who was feeling uneasy. One of the guests suggested that they use a Ouija board to communicate with the spirits in the woods. Jenny didn't believe in such things, but the others were eager to try. As they gathered around the board, Jenny felt a sense of dread creeping up on her. She knew that this was a bad idea. As they asked questions to the Ouija board, the messages that came through were unsettling. They claimed to be the spirits of people who had died in the woods. They seemed to be very angry and vengeful. Jenny tried to leave, but the others convinced her to stay. Over the next few days, people started to disappear. One by one, they vanished into the woods without a trace. Jenny tried to leave, but she found that the road had been blocked by fallen trees. They were trapped. As Jenny tried to piece together what was happening, she discovered that the cabin had been built on a burial ground. The spirits of the dead were angry and had been haunting the woods for centuries. She realized that they had been lured to the cabin as sacrifices. The remaining guests were now being hunted by the spirits of the woods. They could feel the cold breath of death on their necks, and they knew that they were running out of time. Jenny tried to come up with a plan, but she knew that it was hopeless. They were trapped and outnumbered. As the spirits closed in on them, Jenny and the other survivors made their final stand. They fought with all their might, but it was no use. The spirits were too powerful. One by one, they all had fallen. Jenny woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by doctors and nurses. She had survived the ordeal, but she knew that she would never be the same. She had seen the darkness. She knew that it would haunt her for the rest of her life. She knew that she had been lucky to survive, but she also knew that the spirits are still out there, waiting for their next victim.